Boomer Sooner.
Ball's out, rolling around on the turf. Sooners recover. Looks right, wants to throw, does. It's intercepted. Intercepted. He's under pressure. He lobs in zone. Touchdown.
This is the Riverwind Casino Coach's Corner on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Also brought to you by Dos Equis, official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And by Walden Cleaners. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. This is the Riverwind Casino Coach's Corner. Here are your hosts, Chris Plank and Gabe Eichert.
And we kick things off with Jay Valai, Sooner Corners coach. Laundry list of titles, including assistant head coach for defense, co-defensive coordinator, pass defense, corners, and nickels. And we always look forward to our conversation with Coach Valai. Battling this week, but how's things going, man, with this team getting ready for Saturday?
Ready to work, grind, reset, mad. Like, let's go to war. So it's good to have that mindset in everything you do, and I think guys are ready for the fight.
Looking at the defense, clearly we all are well aware of the offensive issues, but how do you think the defense as a whole, especially the guys in your room, how do you think that they've handled these challenges that this team's working through?
I think adversity introduces a man to who he really is, and that's part of life. I remember our first year at Georgia, we went 7-6, and we're like, the sky's falling. The next year we play in the Natty. I think the progression of everything, the mindset of the guys, and the growth is going to be the number one thing. And you've seen a lot this year with guys. Gentry Williams is down, out, and other guys stepping up. Like Eli Bowen's done a tremendous job, and he keeps coming along as a freshman who's playing like an older guy. So, I love seeing those guys work and grind, and just across the board, Woody going to Cheetah now working, and just all our guys in general have been working and grinding.
What does it say about the depth you've created in this room? When Gentry goes down, hope to see him back, but that's number one corner down, right? And the depth is so good. What you mentioned, Woody's working at Cheetah. Jacoby goes over to the offense. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty incredible, Jay, and what you've been able to create in that room from a competition perspective and a depth perspective, in that you lose a guy and you have the confidence in that room to shift someone over to the offensive side of the football.
Well, we're a unit, right? So once KD went down, then that moves Woody over, you know, and Gent's down, so it moves other guys up, and next man up. They all on scholarship, right? So we brought them here for a reason. So time to earn your keep, and that's the mindset. And you get this opportunity, go take it, do something with it. And Eli Bowen was hurt the first couple of weeks. I wanted to see him play game one or game two, and he was hurt. And seeing him come out there has been really good. And seeing, can I work through some things as well too and progress and get better? Des Malone, the same thing with dealing with some injuries, but coming back and being strong. But Day Jordan played, did a great job last week, and he's going to keep getting better. And Jacoby played 25 snaps of defense last week as well too. So seeing those guys come along, elite athletes, that they once they understand the position can be elite football players, it's been good to see their progression.
You mentioned Kani Walker, a guy that has always looked the part.
Yeah.
Now has started to play the part, has given up a few big plays here and there, but so goes life.
Yeah.
For a corner, what have you seen from Kani when it comes to his progression this season?
I think it's your process. I think he was a young guy who was never a starter, so his process wasn't as exact as it could be. I think his weekly process has gotten way better, and practice habits equal game reality. So that's the mindset you got to have, 24/7. So just his thoughts and his ideas and who he is and understanding what kind of corner he is. Every corner is not going to play the same, so understand your strengths and your weaknesses and know how to adapt because of that. You're a big guy, so you need to play big. You can't be, 6'2" corner playing like you're 5'8", 160. That don't work. So use what God gives you and go play aggressive and pour out your dreams.
I think one of the things that we've grown to dig about Kani Walker's personality, we were interviewing Taylor Tatum after the first game whenever he had his interception, and Kani comes walking by, and the next thing you know, he's in the interview with us. He's got a good aura. He's got a good vibe around him. Kani Walker does.
Yeah, no doubt. I think his maturity level, through and through, has gotten better and better. He's a good kid, man, and he's got to keep working, got to keep grinding, and we're far from perfect, but he's got to keep growing as he's been doing.
Gentry Williams, another injury. I know. I hate it for the guy. It feels unfair at this point that a guy that talented has had as many injury issues as he's had. How do you keep him locked in and positive? Because I imagine what Gentry's going through right now is not easy for him.
Yeah, just obviously had his shoulder fixed and all like that as well, and he's getting better and healing up and having his mindset right. But he's been one of my favorite guys I've ever coached in my life. It's just he works, grind while they sleep, hustle while they play, live like they dream, study habits, and he was an elite athlete that wasn't quite a corner or a DB. And his work ethic, not trying to be enabled, but being empowered to get to where he wants to be, has been one of the best things I've seen as a coach. And we miss that guy every single day, his energy, his smile, and obviously the chaos he creates on the football field as well, too. And but I use him as a great teaching example to a lot of guys. In my room, the best guy's going to play. And a guy that reminds me of him from the study habits has been Eli. So it's good to see those guys progress like that. And once again, your weekly habits are going to produce on the football field. And seeing a guy like that do that has been really cool to see, too.
Well, you mentioned, let's talk about Eli Bowen. What a debut he's had in the Sooner uniform. Did you see this coming from his workouts in the fall?
Shoot, you see in the spring it was coming, to be honest with you. And then in the fall, it was there. I mean, he was doing the same thing. And, when healthy, obviously our receiving core is, when they're out there is of any place I've been, probably the deepest. And when those guys were out there and Eli it didn't matter, who the person was, no flinch, and just plays great ball. And you saw that from him. And the biggest thing is him getting fully healthy and then ready to roll. And then he didn't just ask for opportunity to start. He took somebody's job to do it. So, you love his work ethic, his progression, and as we say, best man's going to play. So it is what it is,
You're all about attention to detail, technique, and I'm interested in what do you think from a technique perspective that Eli Bowen does that is the most impressive for such a young player?
I think using the techniques that are taught to him and knowing when to weaponize them and understand the situation that he's doing it in. You can have a baseball bat's a great tool, but if you're trying to fix a house, what the hell does that do? What are we talking about? So understanding the situation with the technique and knowing to use it and being convicted with it, and that's the thing that makes Eli. He's convicted with the situation. There's no flinch, and that's why I call him ha-ha, because we actually talked to him. He's always like, ha-ha. like it's never a big deal, and it almost puts you at a place of calmness too when somebody's that confident because he knows the techniques. Whether you're playing off man and in your tempo and your challenge phase, or when you're out of phase, no panic, and playing through the eyes, hands, and the V of the neck, and just these details like that, which makes him a really good football player. And there's no panic. He goes back, when adversity strikes, he goes back to what he was taught, and those become your habits. So I love seeing that from a young guy.
I've been really, really impressed by his coverage skills, just where he's at in phase with wide receivers, but I've been blown away by his tackling.
Yeah.
Is that just something he's got? Is that something that you guys have worked on with him?
Yeah.
Like what has made him such a sure tackler out there as a true freshman?
I think tackling's two things. It's number one, it's mindset. You've been around guys on the football field that, the guys who are tackling opportunities, guys who want to make the tackle, guys who want to be around the tackle, right? He wants to go make the tackle. But obviously the teaching progression, staying on the near hip, understand what kind of tackle it is, tackling intelligence. He listens to everything. Being ball conscious, he listens to everything. He should have had a dang forced fumble last week on that screen. He almost got the ball out, but it was late. They said the guy's knee was on the ground. But just being that apropos to understanding the situation and how to tackle within it and being aggressive, having an aggressive mindset has made him play like a vet as a 18-year-old kid or 19-year-old kid.
And real quick, before we grab our break and talk about the rest of that room, Coach Venables jokes about it. They see that little guy out there and they're going to go after him. He knows that teams are going to attack him, doesn't he? I mean, he welcomes
100%. There's a chip on the shoulder. I mean, I'm all 6'12" myself, but, it's a mindset you got to have, It's just like, hey, they're going to try me, hit the, when Toys R Us, I know it's canceled now, but Toys R Us, you go to the store where they have the little toys and have the what button, the try me button. I said, there's the try me button all day. You know what I mean? And to me, the biggest blessing is you get to prove who you are every single play because they're going to try you. And obviously this week you got one of the guys that we recruited here and I like a lot, really good kid. You got Trey Harris, who's been phenomenal football player. Let's go. That's got to be your mindset in everything you do. So, it'll be fun and these are opportunities. I don't think guys really understand, you want to play in the SEC? Well, here we are. Yep. Let's go play in the SEC. I've been there and I've done it, and it's just to me all based on the mindset. So,
Quick break. We'll have one more segment with Jay Valai next inside the Coach's Corner presented by Riverwind.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Orthodontics Exclusively is a proud sponsor of the Junior Captain of the Game. Junior Captain is the ultimate fan experience for children 6 to 12. Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members through the Patriot of the Game. Chick-fil-A. Download the Chick-fil-A app and order your favorites ahead of time.
One more segment with Jay Valai inside the Coach's Corner presented by Riverwind. That's Gabe. I'm Plank. And Coach, we've asked this question of a lot of players and obviously of a lot of guys on the defensive side of the football. It's a team, right?
Oh, yeah.
But obviously the defense has been performing well, been a bit of a struggle for the offense. How do you create or how do you not allow any schism in the locker room and keep everyone together? What's the key to that?
Team equals family, and when family has issues at home, you're still what? Your family, and that's our mindset. We got their back no matter what the situation is, and we're willing to own it too. We are Oklahoma, OU, we always say the one. Well, guess what? We're the one. It's all of us together. So we got to create more turnovers. We got to get the ball back more, and if we don't win, it ain't good enough. And that's just the bottom line. And that's just the mindset our entire defense has, and our offense is going to run through a wall this week. And I know Jackie Boy will have the boys ready to roll, and it'll be fun.
Looking at Ole Miss's offense,
Yep.
What really stands out to you as you guys are prepared for this football game on Saturday?
Lane Kiffin, obviously, he's a great coach, and obviously I was at Alabama right after him, but his system, his scheme's always really good. From the motions to the FTB to the shots, it's a good offense. But also, obviously, Trey Harris almost came here, phenomenal kid, great receiver. Jackson Dart, who came here as well almost, and he's been throwing the ball really well as well too. Got a lot of respect for them and their running game as well, and Juice Wells and some of the receivers, and Caden, the kid we recruited, another great receiver they have. So they got a lot of tools and a lot of weapons, but we're ready to fight. We are a ready team to go to war. So can't wait.
When I watch their offense, their running game has been, I don't think it's quite been what they thought it was going to be, but the thing that stands out to me, it's all about the explosive plays. Pushing it down the field. How important will it be for you, not only the guys in your room, but the secondary as a whole, defensive line, making Dart uncomfortable? How important is it to limit those explosive plays?
It's everything. You got to make them earn it, right? You don't want somebody running 8 yards behind you. That's not earning it. That's routes on air. So you got to make them earn it and play aggressive though, and still be confident in who you are. Attack the ball, and just create chaos. That's what defense is about, right? Create chaos. Defense is a violent offense, so we got to go play with some violence and create some, disbelief in their mind and go attack.
It is an offense that, at the core of it, pretty familiar with, but everyone has their own little sprinkle. Not giving away any secrets here, but has Lane got his own little sprinkle on this thing?
I mean, that's the Kiffin special. I mean, he's been like that since, like I said, when he was at Alabama with Coach Saban to what he's done at Ole Miss. And he's just a smart guy and really creative on offense. But the biggest things is you got to know who your Jimmys and Joes are and give them a rock. They've done a great job with Trey. I mean, he's got 59 catches, which is a lot of catches so far in the season. And I think he has over 300 more yards than any other receiver in there.
338.
To the T. My guy Gabe, man.
He's a heck of a football player. Now,
100%.
You've been to Oxford?
Yes.
Is this a trip you've made? Like, this is our first trip. What are we getting into?
It's good energy. Land Sharks. When I played them, it wasn't the Land Sharks. Different mascot at the time. A general, who we don't talk about anymore because they changed the name now. But it was good. We played them when I was at Georgia. That was the one whooping we had at Georgia. I think their fourth and fifth string receivers were kids named A.J. Brown and I think D.K. Metcalf. So it was a different game that game.
Laquan Treadwell part of that group?
Tread was part of it. It was
Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, it was a real team. Evan Ingram was the tight end and Chad Kelly was the quarterback.
Now, how they acquired those guys at the time with the rules, Interesting. But
God,
they had a squad.
But God, they had a squad. But it's a great place. They got great fans, great energy, and it's what a true, SEC town is when you go to war there. So the energy of the crowd will be live and energetic, and we got to feed off it. There's nothing better to be the villain. Like, what was that, Dark Knight? Everybody's cheering for Batman. Everybody starts cheering for Joker in the middle of it. So, let's, be the villain and embrace it.
You have before we talk about a couple of other guys in your room, I would imagine it was pretty special for you to see Jacob Jordan have his breakout game last week, wasn't it?
No doubt. Frosty, that's what
Frosty?
they call him. Frosty, that's their name for him. But Jacob is an amazing kid, hardworking kid. Weird story, like I used to be his trainer growing up for 3 to 4 years. Him and his sister, who's going to Penn State, full ride scholarship as well too. And seeing Jacob make all those plays was, it was hard work pays off, man, and come in any form. And this kid busts his tail every single day. And Coach Jones has done an amazing job with him. And the ankles he got right there, like our fifth grade football team, Pee Wee football team, that was really good. That lost to this guy throwing him the ball, Jackson Arnold, when he moved from Atlanta.
Wait, what? Explain that.
Jackson Arnold moved to Lantana, and which is right outside Denton, and I had no idea who he was. And we're playing this kid. I was like, who the heck is this kid playing linebacker, safety, quarterback? Who's killing us, and it's making me mad. And I'm getting pretty pissed off for a fifth grade. You know those fifth grade coaches that get pissed off. Yeah, and that was me. I was mad. I was like, what the hell? I'm getting mad, and I'm mad all over the place. But figuring out it was Jackson Arnold later, full circle. And it's funny that he's throwing the ball to that kid. And, and it's Southlake and Geyer. And the last game I saw with Peyton and him playing, that's who beat Jordan and them that year too, with Coach Dodge over there at Southlake and Coach Heim at Geyer. So it's a weird world, man. It's a blessing to watch him progress like the way he has. His parents are awesome too.
What a story.
Yeah.
Frosty. I like
Frosty.
that. I
Frosty.
like that nickname. That's pretty good. Hey,
throw the man the ball, he gets open.
He gets open and he makes plays and he takes ankles. You mentioned a couple of other young guys I want to talk about before I let you get out of here. Davion Jordan, saw him quite a bit. What's kind of been his key in getting these opportunities?
Biggest things for Day is what you guys will see more and more. As an athlete, that's few and far as fast as him. He's probably top 3 fastest guys on the team. And once he puts it all together, he's going to be a really good football player, like really, really good. Because it means something to him as well, too. He's just a young guy. Probably if he got here in the spring, it would have been a little better for him. But he's got a lot of potential and upside, and I trust him. And he'll be out there rolling and running and sprinting all over the place, too. So,
what's your reaction when you've got the guys in your room back there returning?
Yeah.
Do you like it? I have
like
to
it.
imagine.
I like it.
Does that create some excitement for you?
It does. It kind of makes me mad, though, because I don't know why he's trying to cut back. Just run straight. This is what you do. One cut and get vertical. And that's the tick in me. It makes me want to see him do that sometimes. But it's great to see him return the ball like that. And he's an elite athlete like that as well, too. And seeing Jacoby on the other side of the ball catch the ball and do some things and run fast and be big is awesome. So anything to help the team, that's what we're here for.
Speaking of helping the team, Jacoby Johnson played both ways against Texas, and then we saw him a lot on the defensive side of the football. How has he handled that? How have you handled that for him?
I've helped him handle it, man. You got a great coach on the other side. Coach Jones is one of my closest friends on the team, man. Just a great human being, and that kid's an elite athlete, just what it is. And once he gets able to really understand the whole entire offense and really put his footprint down the defense, he can be as good as he wants to. I mean, he's 6'2", 205, 4'4", 4'3", all day, and just understanding the game is the biggest thing. Once he understands that, he'll be a phenomenal football player for Oklahoma.
You mentioned that Woody Washington has bumped a cheetah. It seems like he's just doing whatever this team needs him to do.
That's who he is, man. Wood, he'll sacrifice for the whole team, and when KD goes down, and I think people see it sometimes, but it's tough, when you lose a Kendall Dobie, who is the litmus test on being aggressive and mindset and hitting and all over the place, and Woody bumps to that. It just shows how selfless he really is to get from point A to point B. He's a great dude, and once again, he's one of the leaders on the team, and that's why. From Murfreesboro, he don't like me saying that, but he's Murfreesboro all day, so Tennessee.
Hey,
just outside of Nashville.
Yes,
that's right.
Touché.
Hey, final thought before I let you get out of here, Coach. You mentioned Kendall Dolby. We talked about Gentry Williams. Kendall was back on the sidelines last week, obviously not in uniform, but had the card. How important is that to have those guys around? We see it with Jaden and the guys on the offensive side of the football, the receiver, but to have those vets, even though they can't go, to be an ear, to be a voice, how important is that for those guys?
It's everything. It has a guy who's young, who has maybe a little confidence when he hears an older guy who's done it, who's made those plays, like a Nick or JG or a Dolby or a Gentry. It gives them conviction in knowing what they can do on the football field, just who they are. And it's an amazing thing to have those guys out there. You know, KD's family for life, Gentry's family for life. And you talk about true OU DNA, guys who are willing to sacrifice for each other and pour into them like that's been everything. So,
you're the man. We'll see you Saturday morning.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Congratulations to this guy right here.
Yeah, that's right. Another one. Number three.
Number three.
Number three. First girl.
Which is the greatest thing. Because that's what
You've
I
got
want.
two?
Yeah, but I always want to have two boys.
I need advice.
Because you got 4 eyes for protection, and
I've got two boys, and they'll have a little sister.
So they have all guys willing to go to jail to knock out anybody.
I love
just
that.
cause.
That's the mentality.
That
baby.
is
Let's
the
go.
mentality. Just cause.
You're the man. Thanks, Jay. We'll see you Saturday morning. That's Jay Valai inside the Coach's Corner. Back with Xavier Brewer next, right here on Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind.
Spots with Jordan. There's the snap. Arnold to throw. Deep shot, looking for Brennan Thompson, near sideline, caught it, hold the run, touchdown! A 54-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Arnold to Brennan Thompson. And the Sooners are in the end zone for the first time in a long time.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality.
A lot of DB talk here on Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind with Gabe Eichert. I'm Chris Blank. This is the Sooner assistant defensive backs coach, Xavier Brewer. We haven't had a chance to talk to him. But, Coach, we're pumped to have you in, man. How's it going?
Good to be here. Appreciate you guys. Going good.
See you on game day all the time. You're grinding away over there. But can you just kind of take us through the overall vibes this week? I know it's been a challenge, but Coach Venables talks about having great weeks of practice. Jay Valai was just in with us, great weeks of practice. What have you seen this week from the squad?
Yeah, a lot of juice from the team, honestly. You know, a lot of guys did a good job of resetting, and that's what happens when you got a lot of leaders coming back, especially on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of mature guys who understand it's about the process. You know, it's not about the result all the time. It's about just going through your process each week and resetting, no matter if you win or you lose, you play good, you play bad, just resetting. And I think our guys did a good job of doing that. And it's actually been fun to see the offense as well. They had a lot of fun this week, and they made a lot of plays against us in some team periods. So hopefully carry that on into the field this Saturday.
I'm interested in what your day-to-day looks like. You know, the rule change allows you to actually coach, which I think is a phenomenal rule change. I thought the way that it operated before that was a little ridiculous. But what has that change meant for you and your role on this coaching staff?
It's meant now that I can coach the Cheetahs. I get to work with the Nickels hands-on, have meetings with them one-on-one. I meet with Deshaun just about every day, meet with Woody just about every day. Was meeting with Dolby, obviously, before he got injured every day. And then on the field, able to coach them as well. And so be able to assist Coach Alley, assist Coach Hall, Coach Valai in any drills in any way possible. So that's been really good for me. Nothing's changed on the other side from my analytical standpoint of the different duties I have there, but just on the field, I'm able to still be able to use my experience as a coach.
How have you seen that world evolve in the analytical world, if you will, and how football has really relied on it quite a bit?
Yeah.
You're knee deep in it. You probably understand. Coach talks so much about the middle eight, right?
Yeah.
The last four of the first four of the second half. It's really become, is it fair to say, kind of a pigeonholed world?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's pretty much everything when it comes to for play callers, especially just all the information that they get and they're able to gather. And so for me, every day I'm advanced scouting, breaking down the data, inputting data for the future opponents. So making sure all that's correct. So when we do get our reports, everything's on point. And, you know, we use PFF for a lot of information just to get other teams' DNA. And so that's really big for our play callers.
Looking at the guys in that cheater room, I want to talk about Kendall Dolby a little bit. I know that it's been a while since we've seen him on the field. But, man, he was playing at such a high level before he went down.
No
Just
doubt.
how much fun was it for you to watch him go out and perform the way that he was when he was healthy?
Yeah, it was really fun for me because it was part of his recruiting process, and just like, this guy's at NEO playing like that, and the things he was doing on the field, even at NEO, was like, we got one, boys. And we thought he was gonna be at corner, but you know, when he got his first snaps at nickel last year, it was unbelievable what he was able to do, and just the passion he plays with, intensity he plays with, you really can't replicate it. You know, he's one of a kind, and he's a guy we definitely miss. We're thankful to still have him back around our guys. You know, he's a light to those guys. They really play for him. They said that ever since he's been injured, that he's a big purpose of why they want to play hard, and just because they know he would die to be out there with them.
And then maybe this is a better question for Kendall Dolby. He only played in 4 games, right?
Yeah.
What do we have to do? I'm just saying, what do we have to do? Because I thought he was, I mean, he was arguably the biggest playmaker on the defense, him and Stutzman, when he was on the field. And he only played in 4.
Oh, yeah. He's got another year.
What do we got to do?
As far as I know, he's got another year to come back.
What do we got to do?
So,
we need to talk to the collective and get a plan together.
Care of. Where's our NIL partners? Because here's the thing: we're going to watch some highlights of Kendall Dolby. I could talk about this kid all day long.
I love him. I love the physicality and the edge he plays with.
And it's
fantastic.
Almost in some ways, and obviously he's still around. It's like talking about an ex because he's not out there anymore because he's hurt. But Xavier, you mentioned having him around.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just. I saw him coming off. I go out and do the coin toss for the radio, right? And I saw him on his scooter or whatever it was, and it's just there's a joy, right?
Oh,
and
no doubt.
You have a guy over there that understands and can communicate with his teammates. It's really good to have him still around, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a flip a switch guy because he's usually, like you said, that big smile. It's infectious when you see him off the field. But he knows when he gets on the field, it's wartime. And, you know, he's one of those guys that able to flip a switch, and we have a lot of guys like that in this team. But you know, he's a guy we definitely miss.
You lose Dolby, and now you're getting Dasan McCullough back. We've seen him out there these last couple games.
Yep.
Just what have you seen in Dasan's progression now that he's back healthy and getting some snaps in games?
What I saw this week is he had his best week of practice, and I'm really excited about him this week. And him and Woody Washington, they've both had great weeks of practice, and I think Dasan's ready to really take off this back half of the season.
He looks the part.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you see
Freakazoid.
you see Dasan McCullough out there, he looks the part. But how have you seen him handle the adversity, right? I mean, he comes in, gets hurt last year, battles through it, big-time playmaker against Texas last year, then gets dinged up again and now injured coming in. But, I mean, mentally, how have you seen him handle that, Xavier?
He's just pushed through it. Like, again, process guy. You know, taking one day at a time. That's what he's done. And he's finally back to where he wants to be. And he had a great summer until he got injured. But unfortunately, it happened, but he's back now. So.
It's good to see. It's good to see. All right, well, this is awesome. Xavier Brewer, assistant DB's coach, is in with us inside the Coach's Corner. We got one more segment. We'll preview Ole Miss, talk about some of those young guys like Sammy O next, right here in the Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind.
What sports do you play?
Baseball, basketball, and football.
Baseball, basketball, football? Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay. The best player in all of college football.
Is your trophy going to go here or here?
Easy. He's starting to come alive. We have 6 kids. These 2 are adopted. And I've raised 22 kids. There you go, run out of your shoes.
This is Mr. Amaya. He was just coming out of his shell.
Now you got new people that you have to meet. I'm Mizzou. Hi, how are you? Hi. Hello. Zuleika. Nice to meet you. Well, let's go check out the locker room, huh? This is where they get ready. What's your perfect fit?
There you go. Oh, look there.
This is your first game day tomorrow at Oklahoma? Are you kidding me? What's your name?
Mister.
Mister's your name? That's
Nice
like
to
the
meet
best.
you.
That's like the best name ever, dude. How old are you?
6.
You're 6. I got a 6-year-old. I'll tell him to look out for you tomorrow, Mister. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Boomer Sooner.
Nice to meet you.
Next basket wins.
That was technically a tiebreaker. You got it? Here you go. Good job, man. Have fun today, y'all.
He has his own TikTok.
Red River Reapers? Yep. Okay. That's a good catch. Oh.
My coach told me to go that way, but I was kind of turning.
Yeah.
Got it. Nice to meet you guys.
Look, there's Coach D.
What's up, man? How you doing, dude? You having fun today? You have fun yesterday on your tour? Good, man. Thank y'all for being here. Glad y'all could make
Man, we've been pumped to get to know Xavier Brewer, the Sooner assistant DB's coach. We talked a lot about the cheetah room, more questions there, but I want to know what it was like. Gabe was on the offensive side. You were on the defensive side, front and center, when Coach Venables was the defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to play for him?
Oh, man. He's a leader of men.
Yeah.
And, you know, he knows how to challenge you and get the best out of you. I'm sure when you were around him.
He yelled at me a lot.
He got the experience.
and I did not play defense.
No doubt.
Especially my freshman year when I was on the scout team. A lot of yelling.
He doesn't have low standards at all. He expects the best out of everybody. He's a guy that I thought my whole entire senior year, I only played for him for 1 year,
Yeah.
but I thought he hated me the entire year. Until after our last game, we played LSU, we played OBJ and all them guys, and we beat them. And then afterwards, he said a lot of glowing things about me, like one-on-one, man-to-man as a person. And to me, that's stuck with me ever since. You know, it's a guy that I stayed in touch with even after playing there. And it was really cool to see his growth and development at Clemson and to be able to get this opportunity here and seeing what he's doing with it. And, you know, he does a great job of just developing men, not just football players.
By the way, I do have to point out, we are kind of in a fishbowl here.
Yeah.
So moments ago while you were talking, Dasan McCullough walked by and was trying to get in your head.
Yeah.
But you were so focused, you did your job. So shout out to Dasan. He tried, but it didn't work.
He knows I'm about to go meet with him.
He's probably like, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we won't keep it too much longer.
It's all good.
You mentioned that. So the lessons you learned from Brent Venables, how have you carried those over in your coaching career now?
You know, obviously from a football one-on-one standpoint, be diverse. You know,
Right.
do a lot, you know, cause confusion in a lot of ways with blitzes and different coverages. That's one big thing for sure from a football standpoint. Off the field standpoint is, you know, build relationships with the guys more than just care about them as football players, care about them as people. You know, get to know their families, get to know their character, learn their class schedule, how you can help them in other ways like that. So, because at the end of the day, it can come and go, but, you know, these relationships, they last forever.
Sammy O.
Yeah.
He is,
Sammy.
I mean, he's a good-looking football
No
player.
doubt.
Playing out there in space a little
Yes.
more. I've heard BV talk about, you know, maybe his future is inside, but you've got him somewhere where you need him right now for
No
this
doubt.
defense. What have you seen from Sammy since he's been thrown into this cheetah role?
Yeah. Oh, Sammy played the position a lot in high school too, but he's done a great job. He's a heavy-handed kid that's very physical, but he needs to continue to develop as well in the position and get comfortable with playing the cheetah position for us because we ask a lot from that position. And him being a young guy, you know, he's had some development that he's done a good job of accepting the challenge with.
Looking at the guys that you're working with, you know, I know Dolby's hurt, but you had Dolby, Sammy O, Dasan, Woody. They're all very different body types.
No doubt.
So how do you handle that? How do you guys handle that as a staff, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of what guys on the field, what guys in what package, what, you know, situationally? That can't be easy.
No, it's not, but I think Coach Alley is really good at that. You know, that's a big reason why he's the linebackers coach, and he controls that rotation, so he understands who's in the game and what calls to make and what calls not to make, depending on who's in the game. But those guys are very versatile. You know, I trust any of them in man coverage, and not a ton in certain situations, but I trust them all to be able to do a good job in man coverage when we need them to do that. And they all can blitz. You know, they're all physical guys they just know how to play football. Really savvy football players.
Before we get your breakdown on Ole Miss's offense, Jay Valai gave us some good stuff too. You mentioned Zach Alley. So were you at Clemson playing whenever he was under Brent?
Yeah, he was a student there, actually, when I was playing, yep.
And I love the stories now that we learn. Is like he was setting up meeting rooms, doing whatever it took, sitting in on film studies, taking hours upon hours of notes. Could you have seen this from him? Because I think he's been a rock star this year.
And so, actually, I coached with him at Louisiana Monroe his first year as a DC.
That's right, your first year
I was the corners coach.
Corners coach, right.
Yeah, so that's when I saw it. And I was like, man, this guy's going to be special. I knew it from the jump that he had a chance to be very special because, again, he used a lot of Coach V's philosophies, but then also simplified it in to me, some better way in certain ways. So he's going to be special.
What has that change been like for you, right? BV has assumed, more of a CEO type head coaching role and has allowed Zach Alley to control this defense. Does it feel different? Like, is it different for you? Like, what have the big differences been?
I think the biggest difference is I think we've simplified a lot of things, where it's helped the coaches and it's helped the players to put things into families. Now it's just easier to remember, because we do a lot. And so the better ways you can help guys remember things, the better off they're going to be able to play fast. And I think we've been able to do that, and that's why you've seen growth in our defense even this year.
It's been fun to see, that's for sure. And you guys have done a great job. All right, before I let you get out of here, let's preview Ole Miss a little bit. Obviously, they've been dinged up on their offensive line, but unfortunately, they expect a lot of those guys back. What have you seen from Ole Miss? An offense, at least in philosophy, that Oklahoma is very familiar with.
Yeah, they're special. They got a special group. Their quarterback, he's playing as good as anybody in football right now. And that receiver, Trey Harris, he can take over a game in a heartbeat. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. And I think that we'll be ready for it. We're going to definitely provide them some challenges as well because we do a lot of things on defense that I think can create some struggles from them up front and also from a coverage standpoint. Try to give him some different things to look at and I think we're going to do a good job this week and I'm excited to see accept the challenge.
When I look at the offense, and this is something we talked to Coach Falai about, the thing that scares you about Ole Miss is the explosives in the passing game.
No question.
Just how important is it for you guys, the guys in your cheater room, the guys in the back end? I know the defensive line and the pass rush, it's all tied together. But how important is it for you guys to limit those explosive plays?
It's very important because, a lot of offenses, especially offenses like this, like them in Tennessee, they live off those explosives. But what a lot of people actually get confused is like this team also can run the ball. And we're just kind of breaking down all their run plays. It's like, okay, this play right here averages 5 yards a carry. This play averages 6 yards. This one averages 7. So it's kind of like,
the QB run game stuff is tough.
And he ain't sliding. He's going through your face. So it's going to be a great challenge for us for sure with the +1 run game, and it opens up the pass game. So like every other football game, we're going to have to stop the run first and, put a blanket over the top.
Before I let you get out of here, you mentioned Woody Washington shifting over to Cheetah. What a great Sooner he has been. As a final thought, just to talk about Avec, we talked about the young guys in Ole Miss. How have you seen Woody adjust? Because you've worked with him quite a bit on that.
Yeah, Woody's the model of consistency. He shows up, he's the same person every single day. He's a great leader, great football player, very savvy. And he's accepted the challenge, and he's played a lot of football. Earlier in his career, he did played inside some, played some safety, played some nickel. So it's been a comfortable transition for him, and I think he's going to do a good job down the stretch.
It's been awesome. We got to come back. But thank you so much. I know you guys are busy getting ready for Ole Miss.
Appreciate
Good luck
that.
on Saturday, and we'll have to do this again.
All right, thank you.
Xavier Brewer, assistant DB's coach. Stick around. We'll put a wrap on the Coach's Corner next, presented by Riverwind.
OU's 2024 football games are available on Exodus 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
Final segment of the Coach's Corner presented by Riverwind. Gabe Eichert, I'm Chris Plank. Riverwind Casino, good time, great rewards. Shout out to our crew, by the way, and Gabe Eichert. We ended up taping a little bit early on a Thursday.
We made it work, baby.
We made it.
Adjust on the fly.
Great job, Jay. Great job, Phil. Great job, Gabe. Let's talk about this matchup on Saturday. We'll start with a Bob Moore Ford scouting report. We've heard a lot about one name, and that is Trey Harris here today.
He is fantastic. I mean, he's fantastic. 6'3", 210, 215 pounds. Looks incredible and almost plays better than he looks.
Apparently almost came to Oklahoma, too.
Wish he would have done that. Would have been awfully helpful. Now, interesting that he is dealing, it sounds like an Achilles calf.
Availability report had him as questionable, same as Deion Burks.
I typically am the guy that says, I want to see both teams play at full strength and let's see who the better football team is.
Nah.
Our team's beat to hell. Wouldn't mind if he was a little cautious, and maybe even if he plays, maybe plays limited snaps. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But he's fantastic. He really is, and their wide receiver group as a whole is very dynamic. And the thing about Ole Miss is, no matter how the game's going, they are going to push the ball down the field.
Big day for the corner. So big day for us to have Jay Valai,
corners,
right?
Safeties, and I know when you think about the vertical passing game, you only think about the secondary, but really, it's a big day for the defensive line. You have to get to Jackson Dart. If he can stand back there and be comfortable, he's going to make big plays because he's a very talented player. If you make him uncomfortable, it's proven. Just like every other quarterback, he will make mistakes, but you have to make that guy uncomfortable because if he's playing from the pocket, if he's playing on platform and you're not affecting him at all, he's going to be pushing it down the field. And it's just really hard not to give up some big plays when they're as talented as they are at the wide receiver position.
Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members to the Patriot of the Game, which seems like it leads right into Eichert's Intel, which is brought to you by Orthodontics exclusively. Proud to sponsor the junior captain of the game. You got 2 more opportunities to be at the coin toss with me. Junior captain, the ultimate fan experience for children age 3 through 7. Sounds like make things uncomfortable for Jackson Dart would be a good key, right?
Yes, and make Jackson Arnold feel as comfortable as possible. I think OU's going to have to throw the football to produce offensively against Ole Miss because it's just hard for me to believe that when you've got Walter Nolan and J.J. Pegues and these guys that Ole Miss has on their defensive line, I just don't know how much success you're going to find in the running game. So you have to protect Arnold. You've got to move the pocket. You got to make him comfortable. And you have to have some explosive plays in the passing game. I think that's the key offensively for the Sooners.
Should be fun. Oklahoma football has never played a game in the state of Mississippi.
How about that?
Until Saturday. We'll be on the air at 8 a.m. for the 11 a.m. kickoff.
Sure.
And get this, it'll be a little bit more of a challenge because Oxford, I think it's either the smallest or the second smallest city in the SEC. So a little bit of an hour trip in. Everyone's staying in Memphis for this weekend.
I love Memphis, though.
I do.
Excited to eat some good food.
It'll be a good food Friday night, and hopefully it'll be a good Saturday again. 11 a.m. with the kick. Gabe and I will be on the air with the Sooner Radio Network from field level. Going to be a gorgeous day. Oklahoma and Ole Miss. And we'll see you back here next week inside the Coach's Corner to get you ready for OU and Maine. Until then, enjoy game day. We'll see you next week. Boomer Sooner, everybody.
This has been the Riverwind Casino Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.